Hello and welcome to this little project I whipped up. This Black Friday I found 2 minis from my local hobby store and I had a burst of inspiration. The rough draft for this project is a warrior fighting a bear on a dry river bed. This is the first time I've ever tried to use green stuff to fill in the cracks in a mini. Overall it was semi-successful, but the bear did get caked pretty heavily in it, so I decided to reprime both minis. Once reprimed, we can now start to paint the minis. For the bear, I put a darker color for where the shadows would be on the mini, and then a lighter gray for where the light hits the mini. Once completely covered, I then wet blended the two colors together to make it have a more uniform look, and then I hit the snout to give the bear some more bear-like features. For my warrior, I reused a lot of the colors from the bear just not to waste paint. I didn't really have a specific vision for this guy, but I just painted whatever the vibes took me to. Once he was amply covered, I then put a black wash on all of his gear to highlight a lot of the details. For the base of the diorama, I'm going to use a Star Wars Legion base and Vallejo earth textures. Half of it will get a dark earth texture, and then the other half of the base will receive a desert earth texture. Then I applied some rocks to the side that I want to be the riverbed to give it some more texture and a little bit more of a realistic feel. After that, I primed it so we can make it a more uniform color. After the primer has dried, we can hit it with a muddy color. I ended up using Citadel's Sterling Mud. I ended up covering the entire base with the mud color, and then making sure it got into the cracks of the rocks. In order for the riverbed to look a little different, I darkened it in a bit, but I went too far, so I had to wet blend it back into the brown color to make it look more uniform. Overall, we want this to look like just a muddy mess, and I was pretty satisfied with the result. Once dry, we can spread some glue to the base, and then we can apply some grass to it. I then knocked off the extra grass, just not to be wasteful. And then we repeat the process again with a different color of grass just to give some variety to our terrain. Where there are bald spots on the diorama, I like to add a drop of glue and a bush on top. It both adds volume and hides the ugly parts of the grass process. In order to make the riverbed look a little bit wet, I took some gloss varnish and spread it around a little bit. While the base dries, I'm going to go to clip the minis off of their bases. This is the first time I've actually tried to cut minis off of their bases, and it was kind of embarrassingly hard for me, so that was a learning moment. Once free, we can add the minis to the base. Once they are secure, we can then take some black acrylic paint to the sides to clean it up, and we can start moving to some glamour shots. I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to each of you who stayed through to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it. This is my first attempt at a hobby video and I'm looking forward to doing more. However, I see a lot of room of improvement. but I am pretty happy with this as a starting point. I hope you all have a nice week, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.